city of Birmingham, and I welcome you all here today for this exciting landmark.
Bridget Jones, the Deputy Leader of Birmingham City Council, and the important landmark she was describing, the official launch of the Kukri Sports Team England kit, which has now been officially unveiled at a star-studded event in the host city of the 2022 Commonwealth Games. This is a special edition of Brum's The Word from Anything But Footy with Kukri Sports. I'm John.
And I'm Michael, and it was my privilege to attend the glitzy launch and hear all about how Kukri Sports consulted a panel of athletes, some of whom we'll hear from shortly, about their needs as far as kit is concerned and how they took inspiration from Brum itself. You'll be able to see when the games begin some of those design influences which the cityscape of Birmingham provided. Plus, we'll have news on Team England's 72-strong athletic squad for the Games and hear from athletes Matthew Hudson-Smith along with their team leader, Kelly Sabaton.
We promise the athletes that people of Birmingham will be right behind you, cheering you on as Team England, proudly representing for the first time in 20 years and our first major event since the Olympics. It is an absolute privilege to have you here competing in our city and inspiring even more of our young people and wearing those fantastic kits.
The man in charge of Team England in Birmingham will be a familiar name and a voice to Anything But Footy regulars. Mark England was chef de mission for Team GB in Rio and Tokyo, and he leads the delegation for the Commonwealth Games and has told Michael why the Kukri Sports kit launch is so important for the athletes.
It's the one thing that actually unites and binds the team. And for me, when you're taking 19 different sports, 440 odd athletes, Paralympic athletes, able-bodied athletes from a huge diverse range of sports, representative of this great nation, when you're bringing them all together, the one thing that does bind everybody, and everybody immediately sees that they're part of one team. And that one team culture is absolutely critical in gaining a performance advantage. So we're very proud to be here today, very proud to see how it's turned out, and as you can see from all of the comments, the athletes have loved it.
You told me a story once about, I think it was in Rio, your legal counsel had to cycle across the city with Joanna Conta's skirt. So that's how important kit is to these teams.
Yeah, and that is a true story, and our role as kind of backroom support staff is to do anything that we have to do to allow the athletes to perform on the field of play, and if that means cycling down to the Olympic Park in Rio de Janeiro, it's the only thing our legal counsel ever did, which was valuable.
How are Team England? What kind of shape are the team in?
For me, it could start tomorrow. We're super excited to see the athletes compete. Qualification is now coming to a close, and the very, very difficult and challenging time of selection. And so, there's going to be 430 winners and 400 and, more than that who don't quite make the cut, and, but they have pushed that 430 to enable them to be selected. So, yeah, it's a critical time now, but you can see that there's a focus, you can see that there's a kind of tapering and a fine-tuning of the athletes. And the great thing is here is that they're now trying out the venue. So there's been a great test event at the Sandwall Aquatic Centre, the Diamond League at the Alexandra Stadium, which was wonderful. I was fortunate enough to be there. Wonderful event, and everybody's responding really well.
And for you, how much of a challenge taking on the Team England role with a delayed Olympics that you had to deal with as well?
Yeah, it squeezed my life a bit, I can tell you, but it's been refreshing. It's been refreshing and revitalising. I've enjoyed working with non-Olympic sports, netball and squash and lawn bowls. I've enjoyed working with para-athletes and learning more about, every day's a school day, and, on the stage tonight we saw, a guide for one of the top triathletes, and, that's a new engagement for me, and I've enjoyed working with Commonwealth Games England. Paul Blanchard, the chief executive, has been wonderful. The board have been fantastic. Ian Metcalfe as chairman has been terrific, and I'm very, very proud. Brummy, as you heard tonight, and so the whole story's been good.
Topped the medal table in Glasgow, didn't quite manage it in Gold Coast, but home advantage all important this time around?
Yeah, we know from experience that that playing at home is an advantage, and not just families but fans, spectators, the nation will be expecting a strong performance outcome, but also they give it. It's a bit cliche to say they're the 12th man, but they will give that impetus and focus to the team, to and that support that is vital. I'm confident we're medal competitive in enough events to make it a very successful outcome, but only time will tell, and it's the athletes that make the decisions on the field of play. So, as I said, super excited to see them compete. We're looking forward to it.
And just finally then, would success, pride for you be seeing people, seeing families, seeing fans walking around in their Kukri Sports England kit in Brindley Place, in the mailbox, the NEC, because they've got behind their team?
Yeah, 100%. We want everybody in England to get behind, the home team. We want actually everybody in Great Britain and United Kingdom to get behind all of the home nations. But Kukri have done a fantastic job for us here, as you've seen from the launch. And success for me not just means translating the medal competitiveness into medals. That is important for the nation. That's important for everybody here, but also how Team England athletes win, what they say in interviews, how they compete, how gracious they are in defeat, how they host the other Commonwealth Games associations. All of those things make for a great campaign.
Great to catch up as ever. Thank you.
My pleasure.
As we heard, Kukri Sports convened a panel of athletes to take their views and opinions on the proposed kit and its design for Birmingham 2022. Many of them were at the event to witness how their vision had come together.
My name's James Gould. I'm a hockey player and hopefully compete for Team England at the coming Commonwealth Games.
So here we are, it's the VIP launch of the Kukri Team England kit. Tell us about your role in getting it to this point.
Kukri and Team England thought it'd be a good idea to get some athlete representation and opinion. So I was involved in that, and in the depths of lockdown, we joined on Zoom together. We'd had some booklets handed out, and we basically just gave our opinions on kit, from everything from design, colour palette, all the way through to opening and closing ceremony gear.
Be honest, how important is it, the kit, in terms of that performance and bringing you together as a unit, as a team, as Team England?
Yeah, firstly, from an athlete point of view, one, practicality. That's so important. Range of sports. It was really vital that each sport had their opinion valued and listened to. In terms of being a part of Team England, the kit is symbolic of that. So we were so keen to make the kit instantly recognisable as England in order to create a real team environment, which hopefully we've done with Kukri.
And has it surprised you how much work, how much detail has gone into this kit from Kukri in terms of the mood boards and what influences they've taken around the city of Birmingham, for example?
Yeah, I had no idea how much of a journey the kit goes through. You normally think of t-shirt, long sleeve, what colour palette, and that's about it. Actually, what it involves is taking a vision of Birmingham, what that means, what the Commonwealth Games means to people, what does Team England mean to people, what is the iconic logo of England. All of that comes together. Even the labelling of the kit, that's all been thought of in this. So to be a part of the athlete panel, I now feel closer to what it means to be part of Team England, which is so cool, and hopefully I can let my teammates know about what it means and all the little intricacies of the kit.
I'm Noel Farrell, featherweight boxer for Team England.
And how excited are you for competition coming to Birmingham?
It's a dream come true, to be honest. When I first started boxing, I'd watch it on the telly and wish that one day I'd be there, but I'd never ever thought in my dreams that it'd be in Birmingham, in my hometown, in front of my family and friends and all my support. It's times like this you don't forget, do you know what I mean? And I'm fortunate I've been able to focus on the build up and helping out with the kit and stuff like that, and I've seen an insight to it, and yeah, I'll never forget the build up, and obviously touch wood, the games. I'm very fortunate it's in my hometown. What
was your role in putting the kit together?
I That was a tough one, to be honest, because for me, I turn up and I fight. And that's the most I get out of it, and that's the bit I love. But this time I was done try my best to put my input, and probably the boxing side of it, like the boxers, what they'd like without talking to them, kind of, we all like the same type of thing. We want to feel good. If you feel good, you perform good. So that's what we went for, and it's come out tremendous. It has come out really, really good. Better than I thought it would, to be honest.
And it's not just what we see you wear in the ring, of course, that's important, but it's that coming together as a team, whether that's the opening ceremony or what you wear around the village, I presume.
Yeah, it's from the age of 15, I've always been so proud to represent my country, but to represent my country in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, when we put on our strips, when we put on our tracksuits, when we wear the shorts, long time after the Commonwealth Games, we'll never forget the times that we wore it. And everyone, I know when I put it on, and I know a lot of people feel the same, that it'll be a proud moment in most people on Team England's life when we all put it on and we're all standing there side by side.
My name is Joe Fraser. I am an artistic gymnast and I'm hoping to be competing at the Commonwealth Games later on this year.
This is in your backyard, isn't it? How exciting is that?
Very exciting. You know, I'm born and raised in Birmingham, so for me the opportunity to compete here would be amazing. Friends and family can come and watch. You know, I've always said, like, my school friends don't really know what I do. They see that they saw that I went away for training camps, competitions, but they've never really had the opportunity to come and watch me fully compete. So for me, this would be amazing to show everyone what I've been doing my whole life and working so hard for.
And you missed out last time, injury on the eve of the games, so you know it would be great for you to be selected this time around, because must think that was one that got away.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I've done every major except the Commonwealth Games now, so dislocated my ankle just before was devastating, but you know, touch wood, this year's gone so far so good, and I'm just hoping to be selected later on this year.
And how important is it after the pandemic, empty stadiums in Tokyo, for example, that, you know, you're going to be here, you mentioned it's your home city, you mentioned your school friends are coming, parents, family, but we're going to have full crowds, full stands again.
I know, it's amazing. You know, being out in Tokyo with no crowds was different and something that I wasn't used to, so actually getting back competing with a crowd, let alone a Birmingham crowd, it would be a dream come true.
Team England's track and field stars have now been named. 72 are added to the para-athletes that were already announced. The best known include world champions Dina Asher-Smith and Katarina Johnson-Thompson, along with Olympic medalists Keely Hodgkinson and Holly Bradshaw. Also in the team, new British record holder in the 400 metres, Matthew Hudson-Smith, a Commonwealth Games medalist who was born in the host city and has been speaking to Michael.
Everything that's happened in the past has now brought me to all the good performances that are happening in this year, really, and I'm just drawing on experience. I think when I first jumped onto the scene at 19 and was running 44s, I think it was more of naivety and just running for the sake of running and, you know, using natural talent. Whereas now at the age of like 27, I more or less know what I'm doing. So I've added the talent to the experience and you're seeing the results.
Take us into your mindset, though, because elite sport has its ups and downs, and the downs and the ups are always so close together. So at the minute it's an up, but are you allowing yourself to dream and to think what might occur for you? This summer we spoke at the Diamond League. You said World Championships, Commonwealth Games, Europeans, 3 podium places.
Yeah, the ups are so high, but the lows are just as low. I think you have to find like a nice little medium spot, really and truly, because you don't want to be too high and then you have one bad race and it throws everything off. I have great mentorship, really, and I think the one thing they always drill into me is you have to have a constant medium. So, and always one thing after the next. So at this time, I'm not really dwelling on any performances, really and truly. I'm just staying in the medium zone and just taking it one step at a time.
Commonwealth Games memories for you back in 2014?
It was all a bit of a blur, really. I was just there. I didn't understand what was going on, to be honest. It was just, I didn't really expect it to be as big as it was, really and truly, because I was still kind of I was in the sport, but I didn't really pay that much mind to it. As in, I didn't study it. I didn't understand the event of the 400 meters. So I was just literally just taking everything as it comes. And I have good memories. I think it was my first ever championship. No, first ever senior championship, in fact. And it was good. It was fun. And I gained a lot of experience from it.
And you understand it now because it's at home and you've come back to Birmingham and there's trams down Broad Street and skyscrapers in the city centre. Something's happening, surely.
Yeah, I was down the city centre literally yesterday and so much development going on. It's looking quite good, actually. And the vibe of the city is changed dramatically. So the development of the Commonwealth Games, bringing it here has helped the city, and I think it'll be a good championships, Birmingham has a good vibe. We're known for sports, and we're going to deliver.
And your views on the arena, the new stadium, which you raced in at the Diamond League and seemed to enjoy, and the track?
Again, it was quite surreal because I've been at the Alexandra Stadium since I was like 10. So I've seen the whole restructure of it. I've seen it when it had the hills on the back straight, and then they built the new stand on the back straight, which was very crazy. And now they've closed it up all completely, and it's like it looks shiny and new. So I love it. Especially, I think the biggest change for me was the fact the track's blue, and ever since I've been at the track since I was like 10, it's been red. And I know it's so, it's weird to say, but yeah, I think that's the biggest change to me, benefit.
And finally, just from me, I mean, I know obviously European Championships and World Championship teams haven't sort of been selected as such as yet, but is that ambition the same as when you told me at the Diamond League that you want to still be on the podium at all 3 championships?
You're in this sport, you have 10 years to maximize what you've got, and I'm a very external. I am a very external person in the sense of times are great and everything, but I want to hold medals. At the end of my career, I want to visibly and I want to touch it. So for me, podiums every time.
Kelly Southerton leads the athletics squad in Birmingham. She was one of the VIP guests at the Team England kit launch and was delighted with how Kukri Sports involved the athletes.
Everyone's had a part in the design and what it looks like, and that never happened in my day. So for everyone to have a little bit of an input into that and then see it actually live in 3D in front of you is an achievement. And knowing that the city where I live, that part of the structure of that kit is being designed on all the brilliant like infrastructure of Birmingham, like the Cube in Birmingham. So you think, I'm wearing a piece of the Cube. And then now they've revealed that actually the George's Cross is on the Cube. Now I see it, and I didn't really see it before, so I thought that was really inspirational. So it's great to actually see the design into something that's tangible.
Yeah, it must be fantastic to see the amount of work that goes into putting something together which is a performance advantage at the end of the day, you hope.
Yeah, you hope that when an athlete, and also all the team staff and team coaches put on their kit, that they feel that they're part of the team and supporting the efforts of winning a medal. Because obviously athletes go out there and obviously do the whole graft and win the medal, but the team behind the team essentially is really important too. And so we'll be wearing that, and that emotion of, especially if you're from this area. I mean, I'm not from this, but I've lived here for 24 years, so I'm part Brummie. It feels a lot more special than it would be if it was anywhere else.
You've won lots of medals in your athletics career. Where does a Commonwealth Games medal rank in amongst all of that for you?
Well, I won gold in Melbourne in 2006, the only gold medal I won in my international career, and obviously it meant a lot because it was the first and the last in between my Olympic bronzes. It means a lot because at that time you were best in the Commonwealth, and it's mighty hard to be number one in a sport, but ultimately actually go and perform to win the gold is even harder because the pressure is enormous, and anybody who's been under that pressure would understand. So it's you don't get an opportunity to represent England very often. It's normally Team GB or your national governing body, Great Britain. So Team England's normally once every 4 years, and so it's an honour to win a medal for England.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I was at the Diamond League meeting at the Alexandra Stadium the other week. It looks fantastic. What will it mean for this city to host this event with such a fractured build-up too?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, COVID isn't over, is it? It still exists, and it will always still exist. And I think it's just like, okay, this is a great opportunity to celebrate sport and its finest at home. I don't think Brummies really know what's coming. I think it won't be until probably a couple of weeks before, when international countries come and they start basing themselves, and they see all the variants of colours in tracksuits and all the thousands of people that are going to come here compete. They won't really know what's hit them. And when games comes, it will be just like a massive carnival for the 11-12 days it will be on. And I just think there's just no one realises how big it is for a city. Only Londoners do, because they've been there. So, and obviously Manchester did in 2002, which I was a part of that game. So you don't know what's coming. It's just that non-stop carnival feeling, and that's going to be exciting. And I live here, but I'm in the village. I'm part of it, so I'm excited. I wish I was on the other side at some point. Less stressful, but yeah, it's so exciting.
On behalf of Kukri, it's a very, very special evening for us tonight. This is now the third consecutive games that we've made kit for the athletes and the delegation for Team England.
That's Andy Ronnie, Kukri Sports CEO, who told us what an important event this was for the company.
It shows our ability to provide for multi-sport competition in many different formats, so it is the biggest event for Kukri.
How much work goes into putting a kit together for a multi-sport event, and so many different teams, so many shapes, sizes, so many different sports?
Incredibly long time. We normally develop over 2.5 years. So we began this December 2019. Obviously the pandemic came in March 20, which caused a lot of issues. But to put it together, 2.5 years from start to finish.
And can you give us an insight into some of the work that's gone in? We've heard a bit about it tonight, some of the influences, for example, from the city of Birmingham, and the athlete involvement as well.
Yeah, the athlete involvement is key. You need the buy-in from the athletes, so it's important how they feel, what type of fits they like, fabrics especially. And then obviously the history of Birmingham as well plays a key part in the design element.
How important is Birmingham 2022 and Team England's performance for Kukri Sports? And people seeing, we heard 200 hours of television coverage, people seeing your kit from 8 in the morning to midnight.
The coverage we get is unbelievable. I remember being in Australia for 2018 100 metres final, and it was 1:05 in the afternoon. So suddenly then, 4 years on, you have a home games, huge television coverage, a winning England as well. It just couldn't be any better really for the brand.
And when you see England doing well at games time, does that reflect then in hits on the website? You've got this new range, of course, the Team England range available now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also as well it filters down to a lot of national governing bodies that we do work with already, people who have worn the kit, like the kit, and then come to us probably 6-12 months after the games as well. So, it carries on for quite a while after the games.
Yeah, it's a good business opportunity, a good showcase, I guess, for you guys.
I would say that in Kukri's 23-year history, this will be the biggest event that people participate in Kukri kit.
I'd also like to say a huge congratulations to the Kukri product team, who have produced a stunning collection of products through some incredibly tough times. I'm sure you'll be impressed with the new England kit range, which showcases the new fabrics that Kukri now use within their collection, offering high performance support combined with fantastic design.
Well, we're more than impressed, Andy, and more importantly, so are the athletes. So to order your exclusive Kukri Sports Team England merchandise, go to the website kukrisports.com and use the code ABF2022 for a discount by just listening to Brum's the Word.
And thank you to Kukri Sports for the invite to their special event in Birmingham. It's not often I get to see the letters VIP next to my name. Keep listening to Anything But Footy, the only podcast building up to Birmingham 2022 and the Commonwealth Games, with fresh news and interviews every week.